Hey everyone, before we dive in, if you're loving these real-life family drama stories, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. It really helps the channel grow. Grandpa raised his glass and locked eyes with me, calm and unflinching. The dining room felt cozy from the candles, but the air had turned ice cold. Then he spoke nice and clear. Emma, why don't you tell everybody what you did with your trust fund? The whole table went dead silent in a single heartbeat. Forks hung in midair. Even the flames on the candles looked like they stopped flickering. My heart was pounding so loud I could barely hear myself think. Hi, I'm Emma Harper, and that one night changed everything for me. I barely got the words out. I never had one. Grandpa's face fell. His attorney stepped up and let a fat stack of bank statements slap down on the table. The thud echoed like a gunshot. Every single person's expression changed in a split second: shock, guilt, panic. A secret that had been buried for 25 years just clawed its way out into the open. And it didn't come out quietly. It exploded. Quick pause, real quick. Drop your city, state, or country in the comments so I know where y'all are watching from today on Echoes of Life. I was raised to keep quiet long before anyone ever taught me how to protect myself. In our house, good kids stayed silent. Silent kids didn't mess up the perfect picture everyone wanted to believe. For years I thought staying quiet kept the peace. Part 2, the pattern from the start. My mom Victoria loved being in charge, but she always wrapped it up as keeping things stable. Her voice only stayed soft and sweet when everybody else did exactly what she wanted. Behind closed doors, that sweetness could flip to ice in a second. All the praise, all the attention, went to my sister Sophia the second she walked into a room. Sophia always glowed. She got the fancy private school with the shiny pamphlets. She got the apartment rent paid years in advance. She got tutors, vacations abroad, endless gentle support. Me? I got lectures about building character. When my old car died, I begged for a little help. Mom looked at me like I was a stranger and said, "You're an adult now, Emma. Handle it." I put the repairs on a credit card I'm still paying off. When I needed money for college textbooks, I asked again. "We can't keep rescuing you," she sighed, like helping her own daughter was some huge burden, even though she'd never actually helped me once. Dad just floated in the background like a piece of furniture nobody noticed. He agreed with everything she said and never asked a single question. His silence hurt in its own quiet way. Meanwhile, Sophia sailed through life wrapped in love and money. She called it normal family support. I called it favoritism with a capital F. Still, I kept showing up: birthdays, Thanksgivings, fancy dinners where I sat smiling while they toasted each other. I thought if I just stayed in the picture, maybe one day they'd notice me too. Only one person ever really saw me. Grandpa Henry found me when I was 6, sitting alone on the beach crying. He took my little hand, walked me along the water, and promised that one day I'd be safe. I held on to that promise like a secret blanket. Years rolled by. Jobs came and went. Bills piled up. Help from my parents? Never happened. Being independent wasn't some proud choice. It was the only option they left me. By the time I hit 28, I'd accepted the pattern. Sophia was the princess, I was the spare part, and as long as I stayed useful and quiet, I could keep my seat at the table. Funny thing is, the minute they decide you're no longer useful, that's the first thing they turn into a weapon. I walked out of that restaurant before anyone even moved. The cold Bellevue night air slammed into me. I just kept walking, no destination, tears blurring the streetlights, hands shaking but my legs steady. I didn't scream. I didn't cry out loud. I just kept hearing my own voice in my head. I never had one. Part 3, the quiet discovery. Families laughed behind warm windows while I felt like noise nobody wanted to hear. My phone buzzed. My best friend Mia texted. "How was dinner?" I stared at the screen and couldn't type a single word. My silence scared her more than any text could have. "Come home," she wrote. "We'll figure it out." But hugs weren't going to fix this. I needed facts. Hard, cold, paper-proof. I maybe slept an hour. At first light, I was on the earliest bus downtown. Fog swallowed the streets. The city looked honest at that hour, no pretending. Grandpa's office tower cut through the mist like a blade. The lobby smelled like cedar and coffee. I rode the elevator trying to breathe normally. My reflection looked 10 years older than the night before. He was already waiting, calm, suit perfect, a thick folder resting on his knee. I set up a trust for you, Emma. He started, voice low and steady. $3 million. It was meant for your future. You were supposed to get access the day you turned 18. 18. The year I worked double shifts. The year I ate ramen 6 nights a week. The year nobody said a word. He slid the folder across the desk. Page after page of withdrawals, mortgage payments on the house, kitchen renovations, European vacations, Sophia's private school tuition, her rent, designer clothes, first-class flights. Every single one signed by my parents. Every single one taken from my trust. Something inside me clicked. Not rage, not even surprise anymore. Just cold, clear recognition. Every struggle I'd ever had suddenly had their signatures on it. It's theft, Grandpa said softly. Straight up theft. And we're going to prove it. He looked me dead in the eyes. I need to know what you want to do, Emma. I gripped that folder so hard my knuckles went white. I want it all, I told him. Every document, every signature, every single dollar accounted for. He nodded once. Then we confront them Thursday morning. I walked out of that office carrying the weight of 25 years of lies, but for the first time I also felt sharp, focused, ready. The city didn't feel cold and distant anymore. It felt like it was watching, waiting to see what I'd do next. If your own family stole money that was meant for you, what would you do? Drop a 1 in the comments if you'd let it go to keep the peace. Drop a 2 if you'd walk in with a stack of proof and demand every penny back. Thursday came in under a flat gray sky. The air bit at my lungs as I stepped into the building early, heartbeat steady, shoulders back. My reflection in the elevator doors finally looked like someone who knew exactly who she was. Mr. Collins, Grandpa's lawyer, waited outside the conference room holding a binder thick enough to knock someone out. He gave me a small nod like he was checking I hadn't changed my mind. They're on their way, he said quietly. Inside, Grandpa sat at the head of the table, face calm but unbreakable. He motioned to the chair beside him. No matter what happens next, he said, you are not alone. The door swung open hard. Mom marched in first, chin high, smile tight and fake. Dad trailed behind, eyes bouncing everywhere but at me. Sophia swept in last. Part 4. The truth on the table. They shuffled in looking lost, nervous like kids called to the principal's office. Grandpa pointed to their chairs without a word. They sat. Marcus dropped the thick folder in the middle of the table. The heavy thump sucked all the air out of the room. For a solid 3 seconds nobody moved. Vanessa broke the silence first, her voice thin and sharp. This feels like an ambush, Dad. We should have talked about this alone. Grandpa lifted one hand. Sit, he repeated, calm but final. She sat back down fast. Marcus started reading the audit out loud. Year by year. Withdrawal after withdrawal. Mortgage payments, new countertops, beach vacation, Sophia's college bills, Sophia's off-campus apartment, designer bags, first-class tickets. Every single thing charged straight to Grandpa's trust. Each page he turned felt like another slap. Mom's face went ghost white. Dad's jaw locked so tight I could see it twitching. These are your signatures, Marcus said, tapping the pages. Every dollar is tracked. Every misuse is crystal clear. This is textbook financial exploitation of a vulnerable beneficiary. Mom leaned forward like she was drowning. You're twisting this. We always planned to pay it back. Her voice cracked halfway through the lie. Dad finally muttered, almost too quiet to hear. We were just taking care of the family, Grace. I let out a short, bitter laugh before I could stop myself. Taking care of the family? I said. When my car broke down and I was eating ramen for weeks. When I begged you for help and you said figure it out. When I almost had to quit school. Was any of that taking care of the family? Dad stared at the table. I couldn't tell if it was shame or just being trapped. Sophia's eyes welled up. You paid for my apartment, she whispered. Nobody ever told me where the money came from. Mom reached for her hand. We wanted you to have a good start. And I didn't deserve one? I asked, surprisingly calm. The room went dead quiet. Grandpa leaned in, voice low and heavy. You robbed a child, he said. For 25 years. Mom started shaking. Dad looked like the fight had drained out of him years ago. All my life they bragged to their friends about how much they sacrificed for us kids. My name never came up in those stories. Now the numbers were doing the talking, and their perfect image was crumbling on a stack of paper. Grandpa didn't yell. He never had to. He just tapped the table once. This stops today. Mom went rigid. Dad folded in on himself. Sophia looked like she might be sick. Marcus slid a fresh set of documents across the table. Clean, crisp, waiting for signatures. Effective immediately, he said. Your access to the trust is terminated. Mom's face twisted. You can't. I already did, Grandpa said, not blinking. Dad's hands were trembling so hard he couldn't even pick up the pen. Part 5. The pen in my hand. Marcus turned to the final section. This transfers every remaining asset to the sole beneficiary, Ava Monroe. From this moment forward, the trust is under Ava's control only. He set a pen down in front of me. Just a regular black pen, but it felt heavier than anything I'd ever held. Mom lunged forward. Ava, please, she choked out. This will ruin us. I looked her straight in the eye. Maybe, I said quietly. But you built your lives on money that was never yours to spend. She froze like I'd punched her. Dad reached for her arm, but his hand was shaking too much to hold on. Sophia whispered through tears. I really didn't know. I swear. I believed her. It just didn't change anything. I looked down at the signature lines. My name was printed neat and bold. Every blank space was a year they took from me. Picked up the pen. My hand was steady. I signed once. Twice. A third and final time. Marcus stamped the pages, thunk, thunk, thunk. Done. Sealed. No undoing it. Mom looked like someone had scooped her insides out. Dad stared at nothing. Sophia kept wiping her eyes like that would make it stop. Grandpa stood up last. He came around and rested a hand on my shoulder, light, steady, proud. We walked out together. The hallway felt huge. I could finally breathe air that belonged to me. In the elevator mirror, I didn't see the quiet, scared daughter anymore. I saw a woman who finally got to choose herself. My signature didn't destroy them. It just stopped them from destroying me. The weeks after were strangely quiet. But the silence didn't feel like punishment anymore. It felt like peace I'd earned. Marcus finished every transfer fast and clean. My parents got the official letter spelling out exactly what happens next. For the first time, consequences followed them instead of me. I bought a little condo in Seattle. My name on the deed, my keys, no ghosts in the corners. First night there, I slept without bracing for the next crisis. Grief showed up anyway, curled up next to relief on the couch. I let them both stay. Grandpa came by that weekend. He walked through every room like he was making sure it was real. He ran a hand along the windowsill and smiled soft. You were supposed to have this a long time ago, he said. I didn't tell him how I cried unpacking plates or how freedom sometimes still felt too big. Healing's messy, but it was mine. Part 6. The life I kept. I finally get what Grandpa meant when he said real safety is knowing who stays after the truth comes out. I don't hate my parents. Hate would keep me chained. Distance just gave me room to breathe. Sophia called a couple weeks ago. Her voice shook the whole time. I didn't hand out forgiveness like a party favor. I gave her honesty instead. That felt like a start. If you've ever walked away to save yourself, you're not dramatic, you're brave. Your boundaries aren't selfish. Your peace isn't optional. Some stories end with a big family hug. Mine ends with me owning my money, my truth, and my future. They lost the trust. I stopped losing myself. If this one hit you in the chest, give it a like, share it with someone who's tired of carrying everybody else's weight, and subscribe to Echoes of Life. We've got more stories coming, and I don't want you walking through them alone. See you in the next one.